Hey, Donna-lee.
Hey.
I'm looking at this painting here in the middle. Talk to me.
Well, that's the last painting I did before I had my little girl, Jasmine. And before that, belly was too big for me to actually, I like to paint on the ground, so I put the canvases on the ground, and I couldn't get down anymore. The belly was just so hanging there, and I was getting frustrated trying to get down and get that painting, and it wasn't happening.
Yep.
So this was the last piece that I did. I call it Gestation Period. And what I love about this piece of work is it takes you on many, many journeys. Remember I talked about creating this book, Taking Back the Cosmic
And of course
Night?
some of your colors, some of your favorite colors too.
Some of my favorite colors are in here, but I love the very cosmic feel of this piece. When you go in really close, there's some very wonderful planetary energy happening in the piece.
I see them.
Stars and planets and bursts off of planets. It's almost like the energy and everything that's going on inside of that tummy. It's an expression of what's going on inside me as I create this life inside of me. That's what I wanted to express in this painting.
And I see there's the female figure in, is that red?
Yes.
Lounged up, leg over leg, everything is there.
Yes.
And the strands of greenish, what do you call it, turquoise? Explain that turquoise green color.
Absolutely. So it's funny. A lot of people think that turquoise green is a mistake.
Oh.
And it really isn't. It was about the energy of my husband and I coming together. And it's kind of like the yoke, the running of a yoke, right? That's what it was about for me. You'll see that there's energy that runs straight down.
Yep.
There's energy that comes across as well. Then I went back in with a paint knife and I put some designs in here. But it really was about capturing that moment of actually the creation of that fetus, right?
Coitus.
Yes. So it's more about, this piece is about spiritual energy. There's actually two forms in here. You mentioned the red ones?
Yes.
But also, look at this one.
The
yellow one. Did you see her?
Now I do.
Right. So that speaks about the generations, right? The cycles of time, right? All that generational energy that happens.
And this was the last one you did before?
The last piece I did, I must have been 7 months pregnant in 2005 when I created this piece. Having Jasmine in mind. And especially, I mean, again, like I say, I amaze myself with my own work just because you stand back and you're like, wow.
Did I do that? Did I do that? Did I bring it all together like that?
Yes. And this is one of those pieces that also inspired me to research metaphysics and to understand cosmic relationships and our relationships to the stars. As above, so below. As within, so without. I mean, all of those, that education that our ancient Kemetic ancestors had, I'm able to relate to now in this work, but I had no idea what I was communicating at the time. Understand me?
Yeah.
There was something magical happening inside of this belly. The unseen.
Absolutely.
Right? The unseen. So this piece really was a manifestation of the unseen, right? Jasmine's my first child, and my only child, but it was what is actually going on in there? What is being brought out? Where is it coming from? Where will it go? What are all the elements that have come together to help me create this? I mean, I just got this big belly thing here. I'm growing something in my stomach. Oh my goodness, my husband can tell you I had a really good time being pregnant. And I just, when she would kick, when a baby kicks you in there and you're like, what's going on? Or they're sitting on your rib, or there's an unseen element happening. And I just wanted to have a sense, and when I close my eyes, this is the type of thing that I saw. That's all I can say.
Wow, let's shift to the one at the right now. Stop with the the slogans and writings.
Okay, so remember I talked about music being a huge influence for me? Bob Marley. Bob Marley's music really challenged my mind. For example, I really didn't understand in the song when he said, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. What are you talking about, none but ours? What am I freeing my mind from? What is going on? And it wasn't until I had an opportunity to do deep research into my Kemetic ancestors, I understood that there's a whole bunch of my history that has been left out of my education. It's my birthright to be able to connect to my ancestors and to my culture. Why hasn't it been taught to me? So all I could think of is that I'm being brought up in a culture that is not the actual culture that's running through my veins. Do you understand?
You're in a colonial culture.
Yes. But yet still, I could feel things trying to rise in me.
The realness coming to the fore.
And had no idea. So his music had a very profound impact on me. Another song. There's a natural mystic blowing in the air. If you listen carefully now, you will hear. It might be the first trumpet, something like that. Might as well be the last, right? Many more will have to suffer. Many more will have to die. Don't ask me why.
That line always was a killer line. Eh? Don't ask me why.
Right? Things are not the way they used to be. And I was like, well, how did they used to be? How did they used to be? You know, in life, when you ask questions, they will be answered. So be careful for what you ask for if you don't want the answer, right? I know I am of a need to know type of person. So I ask the questions. And this song particularly really stuck out for me. Now you're going to see I've changed it up here. I say stop, emancipate yourself, and then there's another one up there, yourself. And the reason why I say yourself is because the greatest education I truly do believe anybody can give to themselves is a self-education. Don't wait for the information just to come for you. Don't believe everything that you hear. Don't believe everything that you read. Don't believe everything that you see. Everything that you need to see is inside of you, so you must seek it. Okay? So stop. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our, and this is a new word here, Clifton, Alkebulan. Okay?
Africa, as some call it.
Exactly. The original name for the continent of what they call today Africa. Underneath, I actually did have Africa. So this is what I mean, there's education in the word. It's teaching me too. Once I realized that wasn't the original name, I knew I had to change this piece.
The exit at the end.
Did you love that? And then if you go on the side, it's got a little something here too. It says exit to see wisdom.
I will check that out. I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Up on the side here. Okay? But it's a challenging piece, right? This is a new word for people. So,
absolutely.
you know, my whole thing is, we got Google. Google it.
Absolutely. These days.
Check it out. Learn something. So this is the education now in the work that I'm creating from an historical perspective, right?
And the transition from the total white and in the first 4 or 5 inches of the canvas to the figures and then to the splash of color and lyrics.
Yes.
So explain the white and those figures on.
Absolutely. So with the cutout letters from different magazines, okay, that just talks about the propaganda in the world, the media in the world, all the things that we are influenced by here in Western society. And we can sometimes get locked in that if we don't seek our higher selves, right? And our true destiny. So this is actually a self-portrait. This is my locks. And you'll see the silhouette of my face in this piece. It's sort of like a gesture. I loved using the medium there to create the gesture of the outline of my face. It was really, really, really fun. And the white was just that moment of silence that I took to really pull myself out of the madness of the matrix, right? with that red that was stopping me in many ways of achieving certain things, right? Because it can do that if you only listen to what you're told and don't seek yourself, right? So this is me coming out of that, identifying with my own roots, which is often what locks remind me of. I love them for their natural quality in nature like that, okay? Moving back and touching earth, feeling the ground, getting back into nature, that deep, rich minerals that we find in the earth that are also in us, in our bones. The things that are made of mountains are the things that give us the strength in our bones as well. So again, coming back to the science of self, okay? And then the green, and especially this beautiful, vibrant lime green, again, talking about the chakra, which is the heart chakra, right? This is a great color of green too when we're talking about the heart chakra, right? And just a state of being. I didn't know anything about chakras and chakra colors and when I did this piece. So this is just another one of those pieces that show you that I am witness to an inner dialogue and language that I just didn't understand at the time. But in my education of understanding the science of self, being connected to the earth, chakra colors, vibration, meditation, taking some time out to reflect. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a whole dialogue that I'm creating here in a very unique way.
Yeah, come on over here and take me to this other painting here now, which is talk about greens and shades of green.
Exactly. Here we go again with the greens, right?
One more time.
And this piece is called Dear Mama. Sorry to give you the titles of the last one down on the end is called Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound.
Homeward Bound. Okay. Dear Mama, inspired by Tupac. Tupac song, Dear Mama.
Shakur, yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Very influential artist for me. Knowing that his mother was a member of the Black Panther Party and studying that, knowing the hard times that he went through growing up, you know, the gangs, the guns, the crime, all of those things, but the place that he went to create this song, it hit me deeply. And I wanted to be able to represent that somehow because it shifted me somehow. So this piece is a reflection of that shift. He took me higher, right? He was one of the first rappers that really could get me on a higher vibration. And this is also, in lieu of the fact that the show is Deeper Shades of House, this is the first time you see me introduce my shadow side.
Oh.
Right? First time. And I mean, I remember even for myself, I was like, wow, what's that about? Because it was very intense to me. I felt that there was a duality, there was another presence there. But I couldn't explain that at the time, Clifton. Do you understand? My language is the art, but I couldn't verbalize it, right? Because it's the unseen manifested and made seen. So it took me a while to understand what I was trying to say in this piece. Right?
Because it's very cosmic, very arresting. It's very serene, but there's something else attached to that serenity.
Yes.
Particularly with the figure that we see most, the frontal figure we see most with the red lips.
Yes. And I love the androgynous nature of the figures as well. Right? I love that as well. Even though the figure in the back, it seems like you see a breast but to me, just the forms themselves are extremely androgynous. And also the gesture of the forms, right? The gesture of the forms, to me, that movement. And music has a tendency, obviously, to make you move. But I wanted to capture that in this piece, that there was something emotional. There was some sort of transition going on, right? And with the hands, the figure at the top going straight up, right? There's an elevation, a higher vibration, right? But I had to create this in order to understand what was going on with me when listening to that music.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So thank you for going through gestation,
Yes.
Homeward Bound,
Yes.
and
Dear Mama.
Dear Mama. It's the Eglinton Jerk reporting for Eglinton TV with Donna-lee Bolden here at Harlem Underground. Her exhibit, Deeper Shades house, will be here until the middle of August, maybe into September, depending on how things goes. Come on down and check it out. It's the Eglinton Jerk reporting for Eglinton TV. It's Clifton Joseph reporting for Eglinton TV.